Sit-downers, as Stain would say. It's been a while. Dean Gornitis, Unleash This Book Reviews. Coming back to you after a little bit of extended vacation, feeling refreshed, energized. Let's start talking about books. Jim Thompson's A Hell of a Woman is what I kind of want to talk to you about today. Crime novel from 1954, and although it might not be considered a literary classic of all time, it's great, fun writing. So let me tell you a little bit about Jim Thompson first, who was born in 1906 to sort of a troubled family. His father, had some drinking problems, got in trouble with the law and stuff, and that kind of got passed down to his son. His son experienced a lot of things, and Jim would end up being an alcoholic himself down the line, sadly. As a teenager, going into his 20s and stuff, he was bright, but he wasn't into the school thing. He got scholarships to schools, tried to go to college, dropped out, ended up working at a hotel. For a little background here, worked at a hotel for a little bit and was making like $15 a month, but was actually making like $300 a week because it was during the Prohibition age, and he's shuffling alcohol up to the guests, along with heroin, marijuana, and stuff like that. He was always flirting with the wrong side of the tracks, but he got his life enough along that he ended up becoming a pretty well-known author for his time period. Wrote well over 20 novels, mostly crime fiction type stuff, and today I'm going to talk to you about one of his most famous, which is A Hell of a Woman. As I believe I said, published 1954, A Hell of a Woman. Goes around the story of the main character, Dolly. And Dolly's a man who, whether or not he really is always down on his luck, believes that his life has always been miserable, has cheated him, has always given him the hardest time, that he's always got the bad luck. And this kind of persuades his whole character throughout the whole story. And he's got a crappy job that he's not happy to be in, and he sort of finds himself in a situation where he can make a lot of money very quickly, but quite illegally, and he gets tied in with this woman that he sort of ends up falling in love with, known as Mona. And she's a young woman, probably like in her 20s, whereas Dolly, if I had to guess, would be in his late 30s, 40s. And thing is, Dolly's married, so Dolly kind of finds that if he works with this woman, Mona, they could work together, kind of knock off a person or two, and run away with a lot of money. And that's what the whole story kind of revolves around. Now it's a crime fiction, so there's a lot of violence, there's a lot of alcohol consumption, there's a lot of get-rich-quick schemes, all that kind of fun stuff. It's your classic, you film buffs who are into Double Indemnity, or pronounce that right, I think. The Big Sleep, The Maltese Falcon. If you're into those type of classic crime noir, whatever, make fun of my pronunciation. This is your type of stuff. Now, it's very pulpy, so sometimes it can almost seem a little bit tacky, right? So Dolly's calling Mona baby doll and sugar face and stuff like that, and you can be a little bit like, this is a little over the top with its tackiness and everything, but that's very look-overable if you look at what Jim Thompson did with this novel, because he pushed things forward in a genre that was not really taken too seriously at the time. I mean, these type of crime fiction pulp novels were stacked right alongside the pornos when you went to the bookstore in the back, kind of hidden away and stuff like that. People didn't take this stuff seriously, but Jim Thompson did. And one of the things that he does in this story, which I wish he would have done more of, is he takes a chance by portraying a character who halfway through the story cracks, and suddenly you have this split down the middle character, and you get chapters of what's really happening in the story and a few chapters mixed in there of sort of what this cracked character who believes everything is going okay when in the real life it really isn't, writes about how everything is going swell and all according to plan, and how nothing that bad happened was his fault and all that kind of stuff. So you get this interplay between reality and what Dolly wishes reality was. My only complaint is I wish that they would alternate between that more. You don't get as much of this wishful thinking, crazy, perfect world take as much as I kind of would have liked, an alternating chapter by chapter, but instead you just get a couple glimpses. But still, very kind of experimental for the genre, especially for the time, 1950s. If you're looking for something fun, you know, if you realize something like, say, Dan Brown's Da Vinci Code wasn't exactly literary, but it was still fun because there was always cliffhangers and the chapters were never too long, and you always want to see what would happen next and a few good twists and all that. This is perfect, and on top of it, you get a little bit more credibility because you're digging in the crates for that old-fashioned stuff. My girlfriend reads a lot more sort of pop bestseller type books, and she's a big fan of Janet Ivanovich's series, Stephanie Plum's series. If you know anything about that, I kind of get the feel like 50 years ago this is a very similar thing. Fun, not gonna, you know, change your life, but very entertaining and very well written for the time period. There's a reason why this is well known as one of the best crime fiction noir novels that we've ever been able to experience. So check it out if you think that's something you would like. It's definitely worth it. Dean Warnitis signing off. For all you people that I've told I've been reading Brother Karamazov for a very long time. I have been reading it for a very long time, and I am still reading it, and I probably will be for a good few months to come. And that's all I'm going to give on updates of that for now. Just realize someday it'll come, but I'm reading stuff in between too, so whatever. Chill out. Alright guys, I will see you next time. It's good to be back.